Hey guys, welcome to Brutes Magoots, where today we are going to be installing these titanium bridge saddles from FUTone. I got these just because, just to see if these things actually make a difference. They're pretty pricey for what they are, and I don't necessarily see that there's going to be a value here, but I figured I'd test it out and let you guys hear it too. Now I'm going to be installing these onto this custom Charvel that I've been working on and handcrafting. Right now, currently, it has a Floyd 1984 German-made bridge, and so we're getting rid of those saddles and installing these on there. Now this already does have like a huge 42 brass block and titanium screws and stuff like that, but the saddles are stock. So what the idea here is that you know, I'll show you the install, I'll show you the saddles up close, and then afterwards I'm going to have a before and after tones for you guys. So I'll have a comparison of the stock 84 saddles and the titanium ones, and we can both learn if this makes a difference or if it doesn't make a difference. I'm going to be going straight from this Charvel into my Kemper stage, and from that into a Zilla Super Fat Boy cab with, I think, a DV77. I think it's loaded with those, but nothing will change. Everything will stay the same. Mic placement, all that stuff. It will literally just be the difference of the saddles. These are new strings on here currently, so that factors out of the way, and the strings that I'll be putting on there with the titanium ones are the exact same brand and gauge springs or strings. So that should eliminate all of that. Now, as far as these saddles, FUTone says that these are the highest grade titanium available, which I would assume is G4 titanium, which is the highest grade, but they don't say. And I feel like for this kind of money, they should say what grade titanium it is. You can get titanium saddles from, you know, China and stuff like that for, it's still like a quarter of the price. Still expensive, but way less expensive than this. These do have round inserts for better clamping of the string, which I agree would be a good upgrade. And they also say that the low E has been modified to better suit the D-tuna, which I have one here. I just looking at them in the package, they all look the same, but we'll look at them up close and see if one of them is slightly different than the others. I do like that they go ahead and include the titanium screws with these, but I already have these gold ones, so I'll be putting the gold ones back on there. So let's go ahead and jump right on in. One last thing I wanted to mention before we jump in here is that this is a bare knuckle Ragnarok, and it's known to have a little bit more rounded, mild top end. And these titanium saddles are supposed to brighten things up a bit, add a little bit of sharpness there. So I'm not going to be saddened by that at all. Like, I have room for it to get a little bit more bite out of the pickup. And then also the last thing is that on here, like, I always kind of round off this edge on the low E, just because when I'm heavy into palm muting, I find that it kind of digs into my palm a bit when I'm being super aggressive. I imagine I'll have to do the same thing to the titanium ones, but I'm not exactly sure yet. But let's take a look at them. All right, so included with the saddles, you get his card, and then a decal, and then a pick. So let's look at the saddles themselves. Let's go ahead and get this focus for you guys a little bit better than what we are. And the machining on here is really well done. It's nice, sharp and crisp, smooth surfaces on here as well. And of course we have the round insert, which I really like because I feel like it would just center the string up in there a little bit better. You know, like sometimes with the other ones I can get kind of over in a corner or off center or whatever. So I like that I feel like this would work better, but I don't know that for sure. So this is this one, and I'll show you the low E one. It is modified. So everything looks the same. The only thing I can tell that's different is that this part is mounted a bit lower for the D-Tuna. And you can see here how it steps down. And on the other ones, it steps down, but not that much. So when you like pull it to that surface, it's like that. And then this one is like that. So hopefully you can see the difference in the two. And when we're out here, we only have that much of the string support sitting up there, and then on this one, on the D-Tuna, it is higher. So we put them together somehow. You can kind of see how this other one sticks up a bit more. So that's the only difference that I can see between the two of these guys. And real quick, while I'm mentioning intonation, a lot of people just do it where you have the harmonic on the 12th fret is in tune with the open string, but the way I do it is I average all the frets out. So like I'll skip every other fret, and I'll get a feel for if most of them are slightly sharp or slightly flat, and I will tune the intonation for that string that way. So even if this is at, say it's like perfectly in tune with the harmonic, natural harmonic, and the fretted note, a lot of times these other ones can be off, and I just match what the majority are telling me they need to be at. And I find, for me anyway, that that's the best way to do intonation. All right, so the titanium saddles are installed and intonated. And what I realized was that the height difference, which I thought had to do with the D-Tuna, was just that it seems like FUTone put a radius into the saddles. So there was about 16-inch or so radius in the saddles naturally. Now the ones that came on the 1984 were flat, so I actually had to shim to get my 20-inch radius. These guys I had to shim the opposite direction to kind of flatten it out a bit. This is a compound radius guitar. It goes from 12 to 16, and then right about here is my, it's about an 18 to 20-ish radius, because you want to follow that radius all the way up the strings. And so I shimmed it for about a 20 or so, just to kind of flatten it out a little bit more, but it'd be about 18 to 20 that needs to be at the bridge. So what I ended up doing, because a lot of times I get asked what I used for shim stock. So like they have, like all parts has like the shim stock for Floyd's, and I added a 0.17 millimeter shim to the E, the A, and the B, and the E, just the outside ones. And that got me pretty close to my 20-inch radius across there. So keep an eye out for that. Also, like just keep an eye out in general when you're installing these, if you buy a set if you want that 16-inch radius or whatever, make sure that you're installing them where the tallest ones are obviously in center, and you work your way out to the lowest ones. Another thing I realized too is that these are higher overall than my stock saddles. So my string height was super high when I got everything installed. So I ended up having to drop the bridge posts down about 1.5 turns on each to get them lowered. So it was pretty up there. And then one last note is that since these barrels are round, obviously if you back out the screw, they can kind of twist around in there where the square blocks can't. So make sure that you, if you back out the screw all the way for some reason, that you pull it up and make sure that that bore on the barrel is facing that direction, so that that screw is pushing into that bore to keep everything lined up. But overall, that's pretty much all the notes for it. It looks great on here. I don't know if the value is there yet, as I haven't done a comparison, but what I'm about to do for you guys is I'm going to go ahead and finish my comparison video. I already took the guitar tones from the stock, and then now I will do with the titanium saddles, and I'm not going to leave anything after that. I'll let the video finish with that, and you guys can kind of determine if you hear a difference in tone or not, and if this is a worthwhile upgrade to you. Again, I don't get paid for this. I'm not even monetized on my videos. So this is 100% just honest review on stuff. And these are very, very pricey. And I'm expecting that there's not much difference at all, but I haven't compared them yet. So we'll see. And leave your comments down below if you hear a difference or not, if it's better or worse. Just like to know what you guys think. And I'll see you guys later.